Hi guys, I want to read a story to you that you can listen to sometime today, tomorrow, or the next day. And it goes along with papers that went home in your folders that look like this. In your projects folder, you'll have two papers that have 4 hearts on it. And I'm going to read this story to you and show you how those 4 hearts can turn into one tree. Because this story is going to show you how one tree turned into 4. It's a really nice sharing story. It's called Once There Was a Christmas Tree. It's written by Jerry Smath. It starts with a bear family getting ready to get their Christmas tree. "It's almost Christmas," said Mrs. Bear, "and we still don't have a Christmas tree." "Don't worry," said her husband. "I'll find one." So you can see Mr. Bear goes out to find a Christmas tree. Mr. Bear took his saw and he went deep into the woods. There he found the biggest tree he could carry and he brought it home. Now look at this tree and look at this house. I wonder if that tree is going to be too big. Uh-oh. Mr. Bear put the tree in the living room. "It's a beautiful Christmas tree," said his wife, "but it's much too tall." "I'll fix that," said her husband. With his saw, he cut the tree in half. So he turned one tree into 2. Just then, Mrs. Bear looked out the window and she saw Mr. Fox pulling his son on a sled. They were going to go into the woods to look for a tree. "Why don't we give them the top of our tree?" she said. Mr. Bear agreed. So Mrs. Bear tied a big bow to the top of the Christmas tree and took it outside. "Yoo-hoo! Mr. Fox," called Mrs. Bear. "We took our tree and made it 2. 1/2 for us and 1/2 for you." Mr. Fox was delighted. "Thank you so much," he said. "What a wonderful present." Mr. Fox put the tree on the sled. Then he and his son turned the sled around and pulled it home. Once the tree was up, the 2 foxes stood back to admire it. "It's the prettiest tree I've ever seen," said the little fox. His father thought so too. Doesn't it look so nice? They were just about to decorate their tree when Mr. Fox thought about his friend Old Rabbit. "Old Rabbit lives all alone," he said, "and he doesn't have a tree this year." "Our tree is big," said his son. "Why don't we share it with him?" "Good idea," said Mr. Fox. So he took his saw and cut their tree in half. Together, Mr. Fox and his son took the top of their Christmas tree to Old Rabbit's house. When Old Rabbit opened the door, Mr. Fox and his son said, "We took our tree and made it 2. 1/2 for us, 1/2 for you." Tears came to Old Rabbit's eyes when he saw their gift. "How kind of you both," he said. Old Rabbit brought the Christmas tree into his house and put it in his window. Next, he put a silver star on top of the tree. Then one by one, he added the ornaments. Old Rabbit was almost done when, oops, one ornament that looked like a carrot bounced off the tree. It's right here. It's one of his favorites. It kept rolling and rolling until it stopped by a hole in the floor. "Whew, thank goodness it didn't fall," said Old Rabbit. "That was my favorite one." So it rolled all the way to here next to a hole in the floor. just as Old Rabbit was about to pick up the ornament, it was pulled down into the hole. Who do you think took the ornament? Peeking down in the hole, he saw Mother Mouse and her 3 children. They were trying to eat the carrot ornament. "Don't eat that," he said. "It's made of wood." Old Rabbit saw that the mouse family was hungry, so he invited them to dinner. Afterwards, Old Rabbit and Mother Mouse chatted and watched the children play. "It's nice to have friends," said Old Rabbit. And there they are, sitting together, talking while the kids are playing. There's the Mommy Mouse and there's Mr. Old Rabbit. It was getting late. Mother Mouse carried her sleepy children home and tucked them into bed. Old Rabbit went to bed too, but he couldn't sleep. When he looked at his pretty tree in the window, he knew why. It's Christmas Eve, he thought. The mouse family should have a Christmas tree of their own. What do you think he's going to do? Do you think he's going to cut it in half? Old Rabbit went to the window and cut the top off of his tree. Quickly, he tiptoed over to the hole and slipped the little tree into the mouse's family room. "Merry Christmas," he whispered. "I took my tree and made it 2. 1/2 for me and 1/2 for you." Then Old Rabbit tiptoed back to his bed and went to sleep. Once there was a Christmas tree, but sharing made it 4. And Santa Claus left presents under each and every one. The end. So, with your scissors and your glue, you can make a Christmas tree out of these 4 hearts. So you're going to use your scissors. You might want to have a mommy or a daddy cut the paper in half so that you're only cutting 1 heart at a time and having to hold that. But once you cut the hearts out, if you turn them upside down and you put the biggest heart on the bottom and then the next one on top of it and the next one to the next one. So this is the bear's part of the tree. This is the fox's part of the tree. This is the rabbit's part of the tree. And this is the mouse's part of the tree. Now I put pom-poms for ornaments and lights. You can glue anything you want. Maybe you have some cereal at home, or maybe you have buttons, or you can cut up pieces of straw and you can decorate. You have a glue bottle that went home in your bag of supplies, and you can glue lights and ornaments on the tree. Okay, that's it for today's story, for that story. See you soon.